Pluribus, Rob. Pluribus. Now, I'm not too
Ooh,
familiar with this series, but you are, and it seems that they have set new viewership records over at Apple TV.
I got to tell you. So this is the new series from Vince Gilligan, who really cut his teeth on the X-Files back in the 90s. He obviously created two of the greatest TV shows of all time, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul may be one of the, along with Andor, one of the greatest prequels we've ever seen on television. He has created a new show uh, called Pluribus, and it stars Rhea Seaborn as Carol. And what has happened in this show, it's all set in, well, it's not just all set in New Mexico. It looks like it's set all over the world, actually. What has happened, Jonathan, is we have received a signal from 600 million light years away. And that signal turned out to be well, the scientists that were trying to decode it realized it was an RNA sequence.
Oh.
And perhaps unadvisedly, they created it in a lab and it escaped and it took over all of humanity. And all of humanity has been joined into one hive mind, except
Wow.
for 12 people that were immune. And Carol is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a lesbian romance author who was married, but her wife was lost in the transition, along with 800 million other human beings. And now Carol has to try and save the world. How can a romance writer who's suffering from enormous grief fight off what is essentially a science-born alien invasion? Or is it? What's going on? We don't know. Episode 4 aired last night, and Carol has been probing this hive mind to see what works. And of course, the hive mind is killing her with kindness. They want to do everything they can to make her happy. They say it's a biological imperative not to hurt any life. They've let all the animals out of the zoo. They will not hunt for food. They will not harm anybody. And they're trying to provide for Carol's every need. And she's trying to maneuver or navigate a way around, can she save humanity? Does she want to save humanity? I mean, she does, but will the hive mind beat her to the punch? Will they figure out why she's immune and infect her and the other 12 people that are immune before they figure out a way to change things? And surprise, well, I don't want to spoil any of the surprises.
Sure.
The show is incredibly compelling. And if you are a veteran of, well, as I am, if you're an imagination connoisseur for your life, you've seen many alien invasion shows. I read or watched a really interesting theory video. There's more theory videos about Pluribus in the last 4 weeks than I've seen about than hate videos of the Acolyte. I mean, it's incredible. Pluribus
is incredible.
It's captured the imaginations of the world.
Yeah,
I
when
love
imagination rules the day instead of like hating on something, that is pretty impressive.
It's really great.
And
The show's
welcome.
incredible. I find it. Look, a lot of people are going to find it deliberately paced, and it is taking its time to unfold what's going on. And there is a mystery box element to it, but unlike a season-long burn like Lost was, this is parsing out very interesting information in every episode. And I don't know if it's 8 or 10 episodes. I'm not sure, but it's another Apple Plus banger.
What do you think?
I love it.
What do you think in terms of the fact that it beat, Apple's record? Is this standing on the shoulders of giants? Have others like Severance and brought in new audiences that? But I also don't want to like say it's only that big because of other things. So how does this kind of stack up with something like other mystery box series like Severance and?
Here's the thing. I think what's really interesting about this show is, even though Carol is a romance writer, she is, and pardon me for gendering, she is the everyman. Any one of us can be Carol. And I think, all of the great movies or all the great books or all the great television shows always sort of allow the audience to put themselves in the role of the protagonist. And you ask yourself, well, what would I do? And I think what's really interesting is Carol is not, she's a successful author, but she's not a scientist. She's not a science fiction fan. She doesn't know her Twilight Zone episodes, which
Right.
I saw an interesting theory that this is actually a sequel to an episode called Third from the Sun, which, because Carol's last name is the same as the character in this episode, which I'm sure was intentional. But I think, look, Apple's shows, even shows I don't particularly like Invasion, that talk about a slow burn, although it ended in an interesting fashion, at least third season did. Apple's shows just really are of a very high caliber. They're beautifully made. They're beautifully encoded. They look terrific on an OLED set. You've got For All Mankind. You've got Severance. You've got Invasion. You've got this show. You've had things like C was okay. But Apple definitely has a commitment to quality. And I think any of these shows are compelling. I think this show in particular, it's done what Stephen King did to horror. Stephen King took horror out of the mountains of Carpathia and said that crazy girl down the lane with her crazy religious mother, she's got psychic powers and she's going to kill you at the prom. Mm-hmm. This show takes really heady science fiction concepts and puts them in your neighborhood.
Right.
Kind of like a Canadian author named Robert Charles Wilson, who I recommend everybody read. So it's an incredible show. I think it's an incredible show.
It actually kind of does sound a little more like Twilight Zone too when you say that, because Twilight Zone was these incredible situations plopped right on the everyman's lap. You know, it was placed literally in some episodes of Twilight Zone right in a very hysteric neighborhood that could have been ours, you know, because aliens are coming and, you know.
Yeah, like that great episode, The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, you know, one of the most famous.
I love that. Yeah,
it's so great. And this, you know, this plays into that. And what I really like about this is it's a very smart show. Mm-hmm. It presupposes the audience, all of us, are intelligent human beings. And I really like that.
How about that?
I wish modern Star Trek did that.
Ooh. Well, what do you guys think? Have you guys caught Pluribus? Are you going to catch Pluribus? It's on my list. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But Rob sells it pretty strongly. I feel like Apple TV did say, hey, HBO, hold my beer. So, you know, they're the top tier.
Guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. You know, guys, as the days start to get shorter and it starts getting dark before you've even had dinner, this time of year can feel a little heavier than usual. And something I've been trying to do lately is to reach out to people I haven't connected with in a while. Just last week, I messaged a buddy of mine that I haven't talked to in a while, and we just grabbed lunch. And afterwards, I found myself thinking, why didn't I do this sooner? This time of year isn't easy for everyone, and staying connected really does matter. We're better when we have community, when we have support, and when we make the effort to check in with the people we know and love, and check in with ourselves. And for a lot of people, reaching out for therapy is the same way. It can feel like a big first step, but once they do, they often say, why didn't I do this sooner? And BetterHelp can be that first step. BetterHelp's therapists follow a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. They'll also do the matching work for you. After a short questionnaire, they'll help connect you with someone who fits your needs, drawing on more than 12 years of experience. And if the match isn't quite right, you can switch therapists anytime. So this month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's better, HELP.com/Campea. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.